So you mean to tell me all those late nights, what you doing, where you at? I've seen Jay-Z at his house. I've seen Jakes at his house. I've seen Chris Brown at his house. I've seen Jordan Woods at his house. I've seen Travis Scott at his house. I've seen Beyoncé at his house. I've seen Tiana Taylor. I've seen them all.
The city of Stockton had no idea what kind of storm was coming when Jason Lee stepped into politics. One moment he was running gossip blogs and stirring celebrity drama, and the next, he was standing inside City Hall, shaking hands as a newly appointed vice mayor. It sounded unreal, a blogger running a city. But that's how Jason Lee operates. He turns the unbelievable into reality, even if it costs him everything. When the scandal first broke, it hit like thunder. Reports claimed Jason Lee had been bleeding Stockton dry, using taxpayer money to fund a lifestyle so flashy, it could make a rapper blush.
A lot of these celebrities, every single celebrity in the culture has been to Diddy's house, which means they've gone through all his phones, text messages. I can read you my text message to Diddy. What day is it airing on the show, on the network? Are you coming on the show? Diddy, what's this? It's all been business for me. It's been business for me. I don't have nothing inappropriate to them people because I don't deal with them like that. So you mean to tell me all those late nights, what you doing, where you at? I've seen Jay-Z at his house. I've seen Jakes at his house. I've seen Chris Brown at his house. I've seen Jordan Woods at his house. I've seen Travis Scott at his house. I've seen Beyoncé at his house. I've seen Tiana Taylor. I've seen them all.
Allegations said he'd been living large while residents struggled to pay bills. But what really sent the story over the edge was what came next. Jason Lee didn't just deny it. He accused Jay-Z and Beyoncé of setting him up. Yeah, you heard that right. Jason Lee claimed the Carters themselves plotted online to ruin him. Imagine the audacity, calling out two of the most powerful people in music, like they were his enemies. People couldn't tell if Jason Lee was fearless or completely out of control. But that's his gift. He keeps everyone guessing. Even Mayor Christina Fugazi, the woman who appointed him, looked blindsided. She thought Jason Lee would bring a modern edge to the city. Instead, he brought chaos. By May, barely months after stepping into office, Jason Lee was already under investigation for allegedly taking $50,000 from city funds. And when Stockton hosted Wild and Out Live at Adventist Health Arena, things got even crazier. Ticket sales flopped, money disappeared, and suddenly $50,000 from the city's risk fund was gone. Former city manager Steve Canelos accused Jason Lee of moving that money without approval, saying he treated the city's account like his personal wallet. But of course, Jason Lee came out swinging. He said it was all lies, a political setup by jealous insiders who couldn't stand his rise. He posted a long Instagram statement saying Nick Cannon brought the event to Stockton as a favor, not for profit. He said he was trying to make the city shine, not scam it. They can't destroy what they didn't build, Jason Lee wrote, and just like that, he flipped from politician to performer, turning corruption claims into a full-on online production. He bragged that when his name came up in the audit committee, the room went quiet. Crickets, he said, like silence meant victory. But the silence wasn't peace. It was shock. Because by then, people had started digging deeper, and what they found didn't look good. Jason Lee refused to let go. He told critics, if you can't outwork me in policy, work harder. It was classic Jason Lee, defiant, emotional, and ready for war. He framed the scandal as jealousy, saying people wanted to destroy him because he was divisible. But that wasn't enough. Jason Lee then dropped a bomb that turned a local story into a national circus. He accused Jay-Z and Beyoncé of pulling strings to silence him. He said they were behind the chaos, using their power to smear his name. At first, it sounded wild, but the way Jason Lee told it, he made people wonder. He reminded everyone that this wasn't his first issue with the Carters. When Beyoncé didn't invite him to the Renaissance premiere, Jason Lee claimed he took it as disrespect. That moment, he said, was when everything changed. He started hinting that Beyoncé and Jay-Z were working with powerful people to blacklist him. Then he went live again, saying he'd seen too much. Jason Lee claimed he had attended Diddy's infamous parties, that he saw Beyoncé, Jay-Z, Usher, Travis Scott, Amber Rose, and more behind closed doors. He claimed there were conversations, favors, and secrets that could ruin reputations overnight. Whether true or not, it made people stop scrolling. Suddenly, fans were split. Was Jason Lee crazy? Or was he finally exposing what everyone else was afraid to say? He hinted that he'd once protected Beyoncé and Jay-Z by stopping a damaging story from going public. But instead of gratitude, they allegedly turned on him. He said, "I saved them once and now they want to bury me." That line shook people. Because love him or hate him, Jason Lee doesn't bluff easily. He warned that if they kept coming for him, he'd press the button, drop names, dates, receipts, and everything the industry hides behind closed doors. Some called it delusion, others called it courage. But one thing was clear. Jason Lee had declared war on the most powerful couple in music. From a city scandal to a Hollywood standoff, his story had evolved into something no one could stop watching. By summer, Jason Lee was no longer just a politician under fire. He was a man standing in the middle of a full-blown media storm. And instead of backing down, he did what Jason Lee always does. He talked louder. He went live again and again, each time adding new layers to the chaos. "They can lie on me, but they can't erase me," he said, voice shaking but full of pride. He painted himself as the underdog, the truth teller surrounded by corruption. He said Stockton wanted him out because he was asking the real questions about the money. But this time, Jason Lee didn't stop at blaming city officials. He went straight for Jay-Z and Beyoncé again. He claimed they had called in favors, that they'd pressured people to ruin him, that their reach extended far beyond music. According to Jason Lee, the Carters didn't just want silence. They wanted him erased from both media and politics. Investigations were heating up. Reporters were digging deeper, and still Jason Lee stayed online, giving play-by-play updates like it was his own show. He threatened lawsuits, demanded retractions, and said everyone accusing him of theft would pay for defamation. He claimed his enemies were scared because he held proof, screenshots, files, and messages locked away that could destroy careers. And each time he hinted at releasing them, social media exploded. People couldn't look away. They wanted to know what Jason Lee really had, and he knew it. That's why he kept teasing it, feeding the fire without ever showing the match. But the longer it went on, the more alone he looked. Nick Cannon stayed silent, former friends stopped defending him, and even Stockton City staff began distancing themselves. Yet Jason Lee didn't seem to care. He told fans, "Real ones don't run when the truth hurts." He said fake friends always vanish when the truth starts to burn. He started talking about energy, loyalty, and betrayal, turning his downfall into a motivational speech. Every headline became a quote, every scandal a new episode. It was chaos, but it was controlled chaos, the kind Jason Lee thrives on. Then came the bombshell. Jason Lee announced a documentary. He called it The Truth They Don't Want You to Hear. In it, he promised to expose everything, not just Stockton, but Hollywood, politics, and the people he said had played God with his life. Teaser clips hit social media, black and white shots of Jason Lee, news clippings, and his voice saying, "They tried to end me, but I'm still here." It was pure spectacle, but it worked. The internet went crazy. People debated for days. Was Jason Lee a scammer trying to save face? Or a whistleblower exposing a dangerous network? What makes Jason Lee's story so fascinating is how he turned disaster into dominance. Every time someone tried to bury him, he used it as fuel. He took pain and turned it into purpose. Even as the investigations dragged on, Jason Lee built a new narrative, one where he wasn't the villain, but the survivor. And that's the thing about him. He knows how to control attention. Whether it's love or hate, people can't stop saying his name. By the end, Stockton was embarrassed. Hollywood was uncomfortable. And Jason Lee was exactly where he wanted to be, in the center of the storm. He'd gone from gossip king to politician to self-made martyr, and even now, he refuses to disappear. Maybe Jason Lee did misuse money. Maybe he didn't. Maybe Jay-Z and Beyoncé really did have a hand in his downfall. Or maybe he's been playing everyone from the start, turning his chaos into content. Whatever the truth is, one thing's certain, Jason Lee has mastered the art of survival. He's loud, controversial and unstoppable. And no matter how many times they come for him, he always finds a way to stay in control. Because silence, that's one thing Jason Lee will never give them.